Hey guys, this is Bezmor again, and this is a bit of a different video today. I'm not recording gameplay. I'm gonna discuss psychics and sage demon differences, pros, cons, all that, in response to I got a message from a user asking about why I was sage and stuff like that. So I was writing the response and I got to like a massive amount of text, and then I said, you know what, this is just going to be easier to make a video about. So yeah, I'm just going to make a quick video about sage versus demon and psychics and discuss the skills and whatnot and my choices for what I did. So yeah, I'm using the Ecotome website, or I don't know what it's called, I think. But yeah, I'm going to be using this to assist me. And if you don't know about this website, you might want to get friendly with it because it's awesome. It has a skills database that you can look at all the skills, the different levels of the skills, the Sage Demon and their costs, the total accumulative costs of everything, and they have it for all classes, and they keep it fairly updated. There's also a few other things that are useful on this website, which is the Dragon Orb page. It tells you how many orbs, 1 stars you need for everything. There are a few other things I feel like that might, quests if you're looking for those. Really I just use it for the skills database. Anyways, so getting to the point, the first thing I want to talk about is I am Sage, and so the reasons that I chose Sage. I mean, you choose mostly on skills, and so the skills that stand out for me, Sage, were Spirit Blast. Upon successful hit, you have a chance to gain extra chi, and when it comes to damage dealing, that extra chi, like, I mean, if you're in Nirvana or TT or anything, it's just building your chi faster, meaning you can spark more often, and the demon alternative is really not that helpful. So, being able to get chi is really great, and if you're using this to DD and PK, you know, having an extra 30 chi is very nice. Another thing is I chose Sage because of the voodoos. You get basically more attack and more defense. And the demon white voodoo is horrible. It gives you like 3% channeling, and for starters you're a psychic, so 3% channeling is useless. And yeah, that covers it. Demon black has its own little advantages. I'll get to that in a minute. So Spirit Blast, Voodoo's, Bubble of Life, having a Purify on it is insanely useful for PK and PvE. It's really nice when you have those bosses that do AoE debuffs like Mana Drain or APS nerfing or poison or pretty much anything. It's really awesome when your Psychic just throws out Bubble and everybody's purified channeling speeds. So yeah, the Purify is great for PvE, and when it comes to PvP, it's equally as useful because Sins a lot of times are going to try to use something like Tackling Slash, and once they've used that, if it hits you, you're stuck, you can't move for quite a while. Where is Tackling Slash? Yeah, immobilizes for 9 seconds or more. So yeah, anyways, being able to purify something like that means you can kite more, and so that is really useful just to use the purify. So Bubble of Life is definitely better on Sage. The Vigors, when it comes to PvP and TW especially, both Vigors are extremely helpful. Making my charms tick, I believe it goes down to 6 seconds if you have Sage empowered, and then Diminished will make their charm tick 14 seconds, which is an extra 4 seconds to kill them, basically. So it's really great. It'll drop Catabarbs, it will drop Blade Masters in 1v1s, or it'll keep you alive against anything that can't damage deal APS. So it doesn't help much against Sins, because when it comes to Sins, it's not a matter of doing damage, it's a matter of getting through the immunities. But just about for anything else, Empowered Vigor can be very helpful. And the demon ones, they just increase like the potion and healing effect, so I don't know, not a big fan. So yeah, the Vigor's Soulburn, as far as Sage Soulburn, gives 10 seconds, and if you're playing against somebody who's squishy, you can drop Soulburn on them, and it basically means they can attack you and commit suicide, or they can just not do anything. And the longer you can keep them not doing anything, it's just as good as having a stun, pretty much, sometimes. So yeah, the extra 2 seconds, as opposed to a little bit more damage from Demon. That's annoying. Is why I chose, that's why I like that. Psychic Will, obviously, having an extra 2 seconds of physical immunity is never a bad thing. That's self-explanatory. Soul of Vengeance, not costing any mana. Soul of Vengeance does not do that much damage to people, bottom line. Your Voodoo affects how much damage it does, so it can do decent damage to people reflectively if you're in Black Voodoo, but trying to tank somebody hitting you a lot in Black Voodoo is stupid. And so you end up in White Voodoo most of the time, and it only kills really weak people when you're in White Voodoo. I've had it kill people before. It's very funny. But, yeah, so the extra damage didn't seem very pointless, but the no mana is a huge plus because it keeps your mana higher, and when you're in Nirvana or something, if you're not in Caster, if you're in normal Nirvana, I mean, giving it to the tank, you're just putting more damage out there. So it's really great. Soul of Stunning, I really like Sage Soul of Stunning, but endgame, Demon and Sage aren't that too big a difference. It's not the best skill, but it is a nice bonus, because if you're level 100 and you're at 15k Soul Force and you get up enough refines to get just to 16, you're getting an extra second. Whereas Demon, I guess it'd be pretty much the same thing because you're gaining that extra second. But I think long term, like really long term, Sage gives more. But yeah, Soul of Stunning's not that big. Sage or Demon, doesn't matter. Soul of Silence, though, this is a huge difference. Having a 5-second silence is really, really important, because in PvP, if a Sin is going to use Headhunt or Blade Master is going to use Drake Bash or whatever, they're going to stun me maybe 5 to 6 seconds from that skill. And if when they hit me with that skill they get silenced, then he can't do anything for 5 seconds and I'm stunned for 5 to 6, which means either he can't hit me at all when I'm stunned, or he has 1 second to do something, which is not enough. Whereas a Demon, it may activate more, but it's only 3 seconds, so if it's a 6-second stun and he gets silenced off of it, he still has 3 seconds to play around, restun, sleep, do whatever he wants. Whereas the 5, it really does, it breaks you out of stun lock. And that's why I like Sage. And when it gets really endgame, your activation rate from a Sage Psychic is still extremely high. Mine's already at 21, I want to say 21 point something %, and it activates a ton, and so people can't kill me much anymore without having to use some way to prevent the silencing. So yeah, endgame Sage Soul of Silence, way better, especially for breaking out of stun lock. And Retta has a little bit of heal, that's a meh. Yeah, neither Sage or Demon version of that skill is very, very great. So yeah, those are the reasons that I chose Sage, and there's a few other reasons that I didn't choose Demon, like the White Voodoo thing, but yeah, that's why I went Sage. And I think in the message he mentioned that somebody said Demon Size are really great for PK and duels, and that is very correct. And the reason for that is Demon Psychics have a nasty crit rate. They get 1% on, if they get both their masteries, they're gaining 1% on whatever. So that's 1% up. And then, say you're a full rank 9 build, you can be easily at maybe 15 to 17% crit, which is the same as Psychic, but then you're 1% higher than a Sage, and you have Tide Spirit and Demon Landslide, and those are really what's going to give you the advantage in dueling in PK. I'll go over Tide Spirit first. What it does is it adds an effect that increases your crit hit chance by 20% for 15 seconds. So that means if you were to use this, your base would be, maybe say 17%, and then if the second you use Tide Spirit, you're going to be up to 37% for 15 seconds, and you've got that 6-second window where you've got the nasty hacks channeling. So bottom line, if a Demon Psychic did what I always do, which is the Spark Clouder up Tide Spirit combo, they're going to get sparked damage with a 1 in 3 chance about to get a crit, and like virtually no channeling. So your ability to hit crits is really the difference. Because if you watch a lot of my 1v1 videos against these hard blade masters, it's just they refuse to die. They've got so much defense and HP that usually what ends it is me getting a crit on them. Now, demons being able to amp their crit rate by 20% long term for 15 seconds, that is a big deal. Your channeling will run out after 6 seconds, but if I can make my Spirit Blast and Aqua Impact, if I can make them crit, then they're still going to be hitting really hard on top of spark damage. That's the equivalent of Goth critting without spark damage, if you understand that. So yeah, what makes demons good is they have the ability to kill a target that has super high defense because of critting. It's the same reason assassins are so deadly. It's the same reason archers are deadly. I mean, this is giving you a psychic with archer crit rate, basically. And that's dirty. Landslide is a gamble insta-kill, almost. As you can see here, it has a 30% chance to add an effect that'll give you 50% crit rate. And as I am not a demon, I don't know how it works. I should really ask my friend who does, but it says in the wording, has a 30% chance to add an effect that increases your critical hit chance by 50%, which means if you were 17 base, you would go up to 67%, which is really unfair because that's getting into like a power dashed Sins crit rate. And as you can see, it only has a 30% chance to activate, but it's pretty simple because all you gotta do is spam Landslide every 8 seconds, and then as soon as you see that hit, you go in and you start using your harder hitters or something like that. It is really short though, it's only 4 seconds, so you can get maybe 1 or 2 hits out of it, but the idea would be if you can use... I don't know how all this stuff stacks. I really doubt that the Tide Spirit and the Landslide stack. I'm going to ask my demon psychic friend how these things work when I get a chance, but in theory, if you could get them to stack, it would be hacks. But if you can capitalize on that 4 seconds, you're going to be able to shut people down. So what you want to do is always open any kill combo you have with Landslide, because if that activates, you're guaranteeing your death. So yeah, those are the reasons that Demon is really nasty. And one other reason that Demon is really nice is their Sandburst. It has a 20% chance to lower the target's Earth defense by 20% for 8 seconds. So it's kind of like having an Undyne Strike from a wizard, except you have it your own. It is only a small chance to activate, but again, when it does, it'll be pretty darn helpful. And of course, your AoE stun range being bigger is never a bad thing. So yeah, those are the pros of Demon, and that's why they are helpful. It's really all about the crit rate. If you can build a Sage Psychic with equalized crit rate, you're still going to lose to the Demon, the crit rate buffs they get from their skills. But they do have that advantage in PKTW, and yeah, so I'm Sage. It has its advantages in things like territory wars. It's a lot better support, and it is kind of a PvE geared build. But I'm not knocking demons. They definitely have some amazing power, especially in PK. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this.